Today is May 13th, and this is the first day that I'm using solar power. So I bought the solar panels from Guy Marketplace, which got them. He removed them from a house. So here's two of the solar panels. I got 11 of them. Little under $100 each. And I did have some problems with getting the charge controller, so you can't just get the solar panels and connect them directly to the batteries, or because the voltage fluctuates, or even to anything electronic. So you need a charge controller, and that stabilizes, that ensures that the output is always a constant voltage. And usually they're designed to be used with an inverter, so just so you know, it's you don't really get. They're mostly by far 12 volts or 24 or a multiple of 12 volt output. So none of them are actually like 120 volt outputs. And the reason being, usually these panels are wired to have low voltage so that they're safer. But I'm sure there are other things around if you want to go that route, but it's not as common apparently. So I did just get a regular charge controller, but the other problem that I had was that these solar panels are residential. So they produce 30.7 volts, whereas the ones you buy from like Amazon or your local store are like 18 volts. So I had to look for a suitable charge controller for that input voltage. But most sellers don't list the input voltage, just the output. Unfortunately, I got this one, and this is the one that I'm just using, and it's the first day of usage, but it's working fine so far. Yesterday I put my address sign up, and I got my first delivery from Amazon. So it's been 2 successful days in a row here. That's really good. Everything's going really well. We have power. I have the ability to get access to tools and materials if I need it. And I just placed a second order with a cart, and we'll see if it's from a different place now, and we'll see if it arrives. And it's funny, like when you always need, if you think of life and the way things work, is you always need one thing to get to another thing to get to another thing. So in my case, I needed power. I need solar panels to get power, to get my laptop charged, to be able to buy stuff. And then I need the internet as well. So it's just a series of things that you need. And I'm really happy about that, because using a generator or a car engine to recharge batteries in order to use a laptop is a very, very expensive and inefficient way of getting power. I mean, hell, it works well, but it's very, very inefficient. So before, what was happening is if I wanted to use the laptop, I'd pretty much have to use the generator or connect it to the batteries, but then I'd have to turn the car on or to turn on the batteries. Now, I do feel like the batteries are discharging really fast. You'd think that they would last a lot longer with just the laptop plugged in, but they are going kind of fast. So I don't know, but at least now with the solar panels, even though it's a shady day, it's still charging the laptop and the batteries. I'm not sure how well it's working, because as you can see, it's a very bad area for sunlight, and it does make a huge difference. If the solar panel is in the shade, I actually use the wire to spark against, like to short it out against both ends, and it's like nothing comes out. But as soon as I put it, like instantly, I put it in the sun, right away, like there's a massive, I got like massive sparks, and when I put a voltmeter across it, like it, you get really high voltage, almost 40 volts actually, right? So, um, remove this stupid antenna today. It's up there. I'm not going to be watching any TV from an antenna here. It's probably from the 80s. It is from the 80s, actually. So I do have a bunch of other panels up here, solar panels, but again, they're all in the shade. But I'm actually surprised that it's kind of working. My wiring is excellent in some aspects, but precarious in others. So I'm using stainless bolts and washers and nuts, so that's a really good part. The bad part is the copper fittings will eventually corrode, but nothing here is really permanent. And there. So what I did is I have the solar panel spread out a bit. I got 4 on top of the motorhome, and then another 4 on that one, but that one's not even connected. Those panels over there on the trailer there aren't connected. And then I have these 2 panels here on the floor, and so in total I've got 6 panels connected at the moment. But I'm still trying to understand how this charge controller works, but according to it, we only have 3.2 amps at the moment of charge. So at one point there was like 20 amps. So I think that's just because there's no sunlight right now, and that's something that I will try to get in the future. Maybe, again, I don't know if we're gonna stay here, but over where the container is, there's a large open area. There's a lot of sunlight there. So ideally we put the solar panels there, but then I've got to figure out a way to get the power to here, and that can be quite expensive. So at least for now I can charge the laptop and the phone. And that means that I have access to essentials through the internet, just buying stuff and getting it delivered here. Whereas before, I'd actually have to drive there, which is far, because we're far away from, not far from town, but far from any like big box stores or any suppliers like for tools and such. There is just a local Napa store here, and good for some car parts and fairly expensive, but they don't sell any big truck parts. So delivery here is essential, and I don't like to waste time. I don't want to waste time driving around. So at least this is a very important step forward. So during the day, I pretty much don't have to worry about power, and then maybe at night I might have to turn the car on or something. Probably have to turn the car on, the truck on, and the usual turn the car on, then move the battery cables to turn the truck on, and then turn the motorhome on, and that kind of deal. 15 minutes of work to get 5 minutes of runtime to recharge the batteries and then repeat. But at least I don't have to do that during the day now. So that's really good. Also bought a huge fuel tank a few days ago. 2,200 liters. It's empty. But I think this will come in handy at some point. So, this stupid shit battery charger doesn't work. Fucking junk. Just make junk nowadays. So yeah, I think that's. I don't know. I've attempted to connect the solar panels over there and bring the power here through some extension cords, but I think there will be too much of a voltage loss. But we'll see. Well, that's the update for today.